Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this is Jesse with the Common Nerd, and man, I'll tell you what, Daredevil Born Again over there on Disney Marvel, the MCU, just keeps on saying all of the right things. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be good, but they have completely and totally changed their tune when it comes to this series. They obviously have completely and totally basically 86'd everything, which they had like 7 or 8 episodes shot prior to the strike. They got rid of absolutely everything. They fired everybody involved. Like the people that are in charge that were part of the writing team in the beginning, they only get like 1 or 2 credits from like the first 2 episodes. And other than that, everybody else is a whole brand new team. Obviously, we've got Foggy and Karen Page back, which is obviously absolutely perfect. They have completely and totally retooled the series. We saw that trailer that looks absolutely epic, giving us everything we loved about the Netflix Daredevil series out there and wanting it to be great again, and it looks like they might actually do this. And boys and girls, one of the happiest newses we've gotten, happiest news we've gotten out there about all of this kind of stuff is the fact that they are retconning the absolute worst, most abysmal part of Daredevil's experience in the MCU and not as part of the Netflix Marvel universe out there. And I think this is a thing that absolutely every single Daredevil fan out there and every single Marvel fan out there and every single common sense person in the world can rejoice at, because this was the dumbest thing they ever did at all. And they right here, as you can see from the headline, because at the end of the day, boys and girls, boys, dudes, men, guys, okay, have any of us ever done a walk of shame? I mean, feet off, walking through the grass, heels over? No, it does not matter. You might not have talked about it again. You might not have admitted to the fact that you took that whale home. But boys, come on. Let's be honest. You didn't walk down the street with your head in shame. You put your boots back on and you walked down the street just like you did every other time you got laid. Okay, so this was ridiculous. This was stupid to begin with. And now we have it from the new showrunner himself, one of the new writers out there, that this stuff is going to be completely and totally ignored. And I think that is a glorious thing and another good sign that is making me cautiously optimistic about this Daredevil series. And boys and girls, if you want to join us, we are going to do a review on this series when it begins on March 3rd on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be great. My friend Sunker Maiden, she's going to be joining us, and she is way more critical about this kind of stuff. I'm more of a fanboy when it comes to this kind of thing, and it's going to be a really good time. So make sure you join us for that. Join us at the notification bell, subscribe, and all that kind of fun stuff, because we're going to check out this juicy article. We're going to get into all the wonderful details. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. What do you think about this? Do you believe this? Do you think they're still going to end up slipping something in? Or are you glad to hear that it seems like, at least with the Daredevil series, they are going in a completely new direction from all of the woke garbage nonsense we heard about again? Do you believe they're actually going to make this Daredevil series and partiality of that also make Marvel great again? Or do you think this is going to end up blowing up in all of our faces, even though we're hopeful for this as well? Let us know about all that in the comment section down below. As always, all opinions are welcome. And of course, if you'd like to support the channel, check out the links in the description as well. So, from our dear sweet Spencer Bakuli over there at Bounding into Comics, Daredevil Born Again, showrunner says Disney Plus series will ignore some of the hero's past MCU history, including his one-night stand with She-Hulk. And considering how many other examples of him we've had him showing up, whether it be the Spider-Man movies or some of those other kind of places, or of course in the Echo series, we absolutely makes a literal fool of her and just literally mops the floor with her in every absolute way. The only thing that they're specifically referencing here is the She-Hulk stuff. So literally the cheesiest, one of the worst series that the MCU has produced out there, the She-Hulk series. Yeah, that cringe-inducing, literal fever dream of some 40-year-old single cat mom out there in San Francisco. Yeah, that abomination. No. We're erasing that from canon. We no longer consider that canon. So bye-bye, She-Hulk. Guess what? You never got your hands on our dear sweet Matt Murdock. And essentially putting the final nail in She-Hulk Attorney at Law's coffin, Daredevil Born Again showrunner Dario Scarpani says that although the Man Without Fear's past Marvel Cinematic Universe's appearances are considered canon to his upcoming Disney Plus revival, some of their events, such as his one-night stand with She-Hulk, will essentially be ignored going forward. Holy cow, it's almost like they're doing the right thing. It's almost like they're trying to make Marvel great again. Scartapan, whose work on Born Again will mark his second foray into the MCU, following his previous work as writer and producer on Netflix's The Punisher, spoke to his approach towards Daredevil's past franchise history during a recent interview given to SFX magazine for their upcoming January issue. Presses just how much freedom he had to play with, especially considering the established continuity of the franchise and the fact that the foreseeable future is already mapped out. The showrunner recalled, "Marvel has a master plan, and what you're doing causes ripple effects. I would pitch stuff very early, and I would hear that they had other plans. I have plenty of leeway up until I hit the larger scale plans for the MCU. So if you keep it grounded, if you keep it street level, you can pretty much do whatever you want, which makes sense. So I try to ignore some stuff from the wider universe, i.e. other shows out there." From there, Scartapan turned to clarify exactly what part of Daredevil's previous appearances, which at current include a brief cameo as Peter Parker's lawyer in Spider-Man No Way Home, his aforementioned overnight outing in She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Sometimes I love the wording that Spencer uses for this stuff. And a short but heavily relied on for the series' marketing fight scene against the titular protagonist and Echo would be considered headcanon to Horn's next adventure. And obviously, like I said, it was strictly for the marketing purposes. Daredevil never should have been in that series in any way, shape, or form. They just made Kingpin look like a total and complete and total pussy in that series. So yeah, not a great look for Kingpin. We established a very specific Daredevil, both in terms of his dilemma down to the suit and where we're picking him up in his life. Said the showrunner, "You can say that Daredevil is canon in the MCU. Those other events have happened, but some of them we're not leaning into. Offering one specific example, right? Not pressed for an example, just offering a specific example of an event that the Born Again would be leaving in the past," he then affirmed. "His one-night stand with She-Hulk may be one of those things," essentially confirming it, essentially saying, yes, no, we are going to completely and totally ignore that absolute trash representation of our wonderful Matt Murdock. We're not going to do this in any way to the Daredevil character. He would never do a walk of shame, and especially in his costume down the street. It was so stupid. It was so ridiculous. And She-Hulk was just she was such a whore in that show. I mean, literally, somebody buy her French fries and she was willing to take them home and bang. It was such a bad representation of She-Hulk. It was an absolute abomination, and I hope we never see this version ever again in the MCU. Recast, refresh, and reboot. I don't know. Maybe do a She-Hulk Born Again series and actually try to do the character properly. And of course, get rid of the woke actress as well, because that really didn't help anything either. Drawing his insight into the current state of Daredevil's narrative history to a close, they moved Matt through other corners of the MCU, and now he's back in his own story. I don't want to give anything away, but you're going to see a character in Born Again you've never thought you would. But they got folded into the story in a manner that is organic and exists in our world, ultimately teasing the yet-to-be-revealed cameo. New York, in the current state of the MCU, has a lot going on. And absolutely, obviously, Daredevil hits Disney Plus on March 4th, and whichever day of the week that is, whatever Thursday is after that, we will end up watching that series and reviewing it with my dear sweet friend, Sunker Maiden. I hope this show is good. Obviously, the yellow outfit was a horrible idea. Everyone hated it. It was the most universally hated outfit among all of the Daredevil costumes out there, boys and girls. The mustard yellow was just absolutely abysmal. But it was one of those situations where I really do want this series to be good, right? I really want my friend and I, Sunker, to review this and have a good time and enjoy it and go, you know what? I hope the rest of Marvel going forward, all of the new projects that they gear up, all of the new ones that they put out there into the world are exactly like this. This is the path. This is the method. This is the way. This is the plan. This is the map going forward. That's what I want, because at the end of the day, fans deserve to have the characters that they love and known that have made them the icons, because without fans, Daredevil wouldn't be any kind of icon inside of Marvel, right? Without the writers and the incredible artists at the Marvel Studios, out at the Marvel comic book company out there, they would have never been able to have this incredible, wonderful, fabulous character. And it doesn't matter how good their art was. It doesn't matter how good their story was. If it did not relate to the fans, it was never going to be a success. So yes, fans do deserve what they want from these franchises, because if it was not for the fans, Daredevil would be nothing more than some B-list character that nobody knows anything about. Netflix did a great job putting him on the map, but Daredevil has always had a very faithful following in the comic books out there. And if fans made Daredevil great to begin with, let's see fans make it great again by actually listening to us and giving us what we want. And so far, everything right down from the fact that we have from the rumor mill started about them firing everybody involved and scrapping everything, I am actually cautiously I would even say optimistic especially after that trailer about the Daredevil Born Again series. Could I be completely and totally wrong and crushed? Yes, I was with Creature Commandos, but this is Disney Marvel, and it seems like they are actually trying to turn things around. So make the smart move, Kevin Feige. Live up to your word, and please, writers and producers of this show, do the exact same thing. Let's make Daredevil great again and give us the wonderful, harsh, crazy Daredevil getting beat up and beat around and kicking butt that all of the fans deserve and love. And that will make you a success. And who knows, it may end up being the best ratings Disney Marvel has ever seen for a streaming service. Wouldn't that be a real tooth in the eye, a little pick in the eye out there to all of the woke acolytes? And of course, now we know that the She-Hulk series is no longer canon, and I think all of the Daredevil fans out there can be very, very excited about this, boys and girls. So let's see what happens. March 4th is coming very, very soon.